So the moon goes from Taurus into Gemini today, and it starts out in that Taurus energy where we're focusing on getting grounded, figuring out where we stand, what we can depend on, what we want to rest on in terms of our beliefs and how we think about the world. So I had some ideas for you yesterday in how you can think about the energy of the moon in Taurus, Jupiter stationing to go retrograde in Taurus, thinking about our beliefs, what we count on, what we depend on, how we have faith in the world. So definitely check out yesterday's video from Monday, September 4th for more information on that Taurus energy, because there was kind of one of the more potent days in terms of shifting how we think about what we depend on, where we belong, what we can count on, and what those types of things, like a new vision of the status quo, I guess. And then today, the moon is going to shift into Gemini. So we're going to take a look at what that means, what that looks like, and why as we go from Monday to Tuesday, which is in my world, my time zone, the moon will transit past or come together with, conjunct with Uranus in the sky around 1 a.m. ish my time, US Pacific time. And so we have that energy too of thinking about what is the normal, how is that changing, what is shaking up our vision of the future, and how we see things, how we understand what we depend on, kind of further development of some of the issues that I brought up from Monday's topics. And so I'm Marina Ormes here with your Astro Vibe for Tuesday, September 5th. And we are looking at this shift as the moon transitions from Taurus into Gemini. So in other words, because the moon passed by Uranus around 1 a.m. ish, my time, Pacific time, if you're on the East Coast, it would be more like 4 a.m. ish. Europe would be more like middle of the day. But for those of us who are asleep while that is happening, we might have dreams that have to do with how we view reality, how we view normal life, and how that could be changing. So curious if anyone has or did have, depending on when you're watching this video, because I know it goes live before that transit actually occurs. Any dreams about reality, dreams about what is normal, dreams about how what is normal might be changing. Just a thought, right? Because at least I'm pretty sure I will be asleep when that is happening. So it depends on where you're at with that, but shakeups, change, thinking about the status quo, where we're at, how we define and understand things, what boxes we put things into, and how that is shifting and changing. Then the moon goes into Gemini, and that will take place around, I believe it's around noon my time, 1 p.m. ish. Don't take that to the bank, but in that range, my time, US Pacific time, again, 1 p.m. So could be 4 p.m. If you're on the East Coast, New York time zone. So when that moon shifts into Gemini, we go from this kind of deeper, like a focus on grounding and what we need and what we can count on and what makes us feel safe and where we belong, those kinds of questions. And again, how we need to adjust our thinking, our beliefs, our approaches in terms of how we understand that, as well as how that status quo is shifting and changing, and what we want, how we want to shape that, right? Because we are co-creators in the moon cycle that is focused on creativity and self-expression. We are active participants as we make our choices in the moment about what we believe in, where we are going to put our faith and trust, how open we are to possibility. And I talk about that a lot here, but this is just kind of a specific flavor of what that possibility looks like. And the flavor is about ways we have defined our experience or what is possible based on our understandings from the past, and shifting instead to more of a future oriented view where we don't know what's coming, and we're creating that in the moment through saying, yeah, I would like to imagine, I'm choosing to imagine a future that involves the healing, the transformation, the new possibilities, the new solutions that I can come up with in my imagination, in my thinking, in my openness, in my willingness. And so by choosing that openness, we're actually opening the door to say, yeah, I haven't closed the door and decided to give up. I've opened the door and decided to participate in creating the future. And you see how different those two things feel. So look for any ways that you might be unconsciously or inadvertently aligning with the closed door version, because there's an invitation here right now to actively participate in the bigger creative process and what that looks like for you in your life. So the moon is waning. It was full last week. It is heading toward the third quarter, or that half full point where it's heading back toward the next new moon. And the third quarter will bring a shift in our thinking, opportunity to implement new pathways of thinking, new possibilities, new ways of opening our minds, and new beliefs. So that's happening as the moon transits here through Gemini. I don't have in front of me the exact time of the third quarter, but it is it'll be probably early tomorrow morning at any rate. Or early on the morning of September 6th. So Gemini, as the moon shifts into Gemini, we go from that place where we're thinking about the ground, about where we belong, about what we can count on, into the place of curiosity. So when the moon shifts into Gemini, 1 p.m. Pacific time-ish, 4 p.m. East Coast time-ish, and that you can adjust for your time zone, but that shift of the moon into an air sign, into curious Gemini, is going to take us into a place of questioning our thinking. So once we open the door with Taurus to say, yeah, maybe I could feel safe with things being different, now the Gemini moon is going to say, well, let's ask some questions. Let's go explore some new ways of thinking, some possibilities, what that might look like, who we might be becoming, how we might describe or define this or understand this. So Gemini is the sign of learning. It is, of course, it gets a bad rap for being super distractible and going off on tangents and that type of thing. But when you think about why it's doing that, it's like it's asking us to notice and think of things that we wouldn't otherwise. So it's asking us to kind of get curious and explore and learn new things and research topics or explore pathways of information that open doors to our own understanding. So follow and trust any impulses you have to go, find books or find things online or listen to podcasts or whatever that helps you to learn new things, to open your mind, and to follow your curiosity. Gemini moon is also a great time for writing, for journaling, for working with words, for communications. connecting with others and bouncing ideas off, right? Like that feeling that you get in when you're having a great discussion, and it just, you know, fires new ideas, new thinking, and you share that, and that inspires someone else's thinking, and you can really create, you know, co-create new ways of thinking, new the ability to spark new ideas in process, in dialogue with another person. So that's there as well. All of this again is contributing to our monthly theme, our moon cycle theme of creativity and self-expression. So there's a discovery process. What is it your mind wants to find out about or discover that might be in alignment with what you need to learn to continue your own path of creativity and self-expression? Maybe there's something you need to learn more about, or a class that it's time for you to sign up for, or a book that's time for you to read. Who knows? Opening those doors and exploring your curiosity can support your own creative process and your self-expression as you unfold into the discovery of what it means to fully be yourself. And that's what this moon cycle is about. That's what the bigger process is about too, but this particular Leo moon cycle that began with the Leo new moon is about how we express ourselves, how we shine in the world, how we share our gifts, and how we need to be seen in that process. So that's what we're working on for today with the moon in Gemini. I'm Marina Ormes. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. We have had some planets changing direction. So if you missed my video from Sunday, September 3rd, went in depth on some of those energies and some of the bigger picture of what is going on, and how to work with that, take it to some places of deeper insight. So that's what I'm all about here with astrology for unshakable self-care. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here and for your support. And we will keep going as the planets do as well. And I'll let you know what they're telling us. All right. Thanks for being here. Astrologyheals.com. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.